few more minutes to wait for the participants to come in. And in the moment, we can just be refreshing our heads, questions, preparing our heads for questions and for the presentations. Thank you. Welcome in.
Recording in progress. Recording in progress.
I think we can begin. Hi, everybody. So my name is Wilson. So my name is Wilson Harry. I'd like to take the first opportunity to thank all of you guys for being able to make it to this event. We are going to be celebrating the youth and primarily the World Internet Day. So even before we begin, I'll have to give chance to some of our key stakeholders to introduce themselves. First, I'll let DataDigital go first, and the Data team maybe introduce themselves so that we also appreciate them for arranging for such an event in partnership with Team South Africa. So Data, the floor is yours.
Good morning, and thank you, Harry, for this wonderful celebration that we have been working together to make a success. My name is Boniface Gore. I'm the team leader, DataDigital. But I have with me my team here. I will allow them to introduce themselves. Then we can proceed from there. Wise?
Good morning to everyone. My name is Waiso Afula, and I'd like to welcome you to this webinar. We will be just sensitizing a lot on IT and focusing mainly on the youth. I'm here as a representative for DADA. I'm the producer and editor and head of department for DADA. Thank you.
Okay, so basically, I guess that's it from the Data side. So I'll also do the same for Team South Africa, give chance to all our directors and panelists to just introduce themselves as we begin the webinar. So we can begin with Brian.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this day's webinar. My name is Brian Joroge, Team South Africa's lead in finance and operations. Thank you. Welcome and have a great time here.
Grace.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Grace Omboy. I'm the data analyst lead at Team South Africa. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you.
I'm going to also give Hilary a chance and now give also our panelist, we're going to give them actually a lot of time to do that because they're going to be carrying out the day's event. So Hilary, are you ready to introduce yourself before we begin?
Good morning, everyone. I'm sorry I can't share my background. I'm Hiro Kimani, customer and marketing and customer relationship lead at Team South Africa.
Wilson, so I think this is where I come in, right? Okay. Hello everyone. Welcome again to World Internet Day by TeamSet Africa and DataDigital. My name is Nashpai Waweru and I'll be your moderator for the day. I hope you can see me, right? Because with these COVID times, this is the most you can get to an in-person meeting. Can you see me? Okay. So it is really nice to meet you all. I hope you guys are ready to learn and to, even unlearn when necessary, relearn too. Today is World Internet Day. We are here today to celebrate, the invention of internet and information technology as it conjugates to that. And our theme for today is the internet today and tomorrow. Like I said, my name is Nashpai Waweru. I'm a finalist at Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology, taking a bachelor's degree in mathematics and computer science. I am a data scientist by profession, but today I hold the capacity of campus ambassador for Moringa School to JKUAT, and I'll be your moderator for the day, right? So as part of our World Internet Day, we will have our keynote speaker, who will be Wilson Harry. We will also have 2 panelists. So that will be Lucy Maina Kigane and Nuru Amin. And at this point, I'd really like for Lucy Maina to introduce herself, followed by Nuru Amin.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. It is my great pleasure to be here this morning. My name is Lucy Kiganane, and I am a senior lecturer in entrepreneurship, a holder of a PhD in the same field, entrepreneurship. I am an entrepreneurship expert, having engaged in capacity building and training for over 25 years. I am also a practicing entrepreneur. I am a lecturer in the Cooperative University in the Department of Entrepreneurship and Economics. And I'm also the Director of Postgraduate Studies in the same university. I am engaged a lot in research in the field of business and entrepreneurship. I am a peer reviewer for various publications. I am an editor as well in those publications and in the advisory board. I have co-authored a book titled Foundations of Entrepreneurship, and continue to actually come up with another very interesting one, which is entrepreneurial venture creation. And I want to say that, I'm so glad that today we are celebrating the World Internet Day, because there wouldn't be any entrepreneurship without internet, right? Yeah, there wouldn't be any business without internet. Internet has just, transformed and changed the world of entrepreneurship and business totally. I don't know whether it is at this point I'm allowed to just share my presentation very briefly. Maybe I can be advised if I'm given the rights.
Lucy, if you don't mind, we would first of all just get to know you, and then I'll give you the opportunity to do that.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Asante. So I am therefore then
Okay, let's have Nuru also introduce herself. She's also one of the panel team.
Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone is doing amazing today. So my name is Nuru Amin. I am a psychologist and a general mental health practitioner. I am currently doing my master's in marriage and family counseling, with my concentration being working with families and couples. So I hope today we get to engage and learn from each other. Apart from that, I don't have much to say.
Okay, so thank you, Lucy and Nuru. At this point, I'd like to invite Wilson, who will be our keynote speaker for the day. Remember, today is World Internet Day. Our theme is the Internet today and tomorrow. Welcome, Wilson.
Okay. Yes, so once again, I want to first apologize because there's a slight delay. We were waiting for everyone to be intact to get the number up so that we can even make sure we're not leaving anyone behind. So I'll do a quick presentation about myself. And it's actually to say, my name is Wilson Harry, the project manager to TeamSet Africa and also one of the senior partners. At TeamSet Africa, what we do is we help the youth. We train the youth on digital literacy skills because by 2030, we are having an alignment of getting 230 jobs that are going to require ICT literacy. So people have to be literal in ICT, and we are primarily working to focus on people in the marginalized areas, people outside Nairobi and all the other places that cannot have access to digital inclusion opportunities. We take them to their places, teach them how to navigate around using a computer, how to even they can navigate around coding. So it becomes that we are including every person in that space. So that is something that we are doing. We also provide HC services. We've worked with a number of clients in creating apps, in creating websites, in doing systems, and some other ICT support back offices services. So basically that is what we do. And when time comes, you're going also to learn about data because the session is already ongoing and we are slightly below time. So it's to say, we're also going to learn about data, but in retrospect, what data do is they are a women-centric organization that is telling or pioneering around championing women's stories, successful women's stories, and publishing them. They're also doing ICT in the women's space. They're emphasizing on women literacy in ICT, and sort of like all those areas tied together make up DataDigital. But we're going to have a chance to even learn about them more from their founder. But to begin this session, it's to say there's a lot of disruption that is happening right now because of COVID. We are getting to work so much from home, and you know, when you're working from home, there's a lot of distractions, but again, we have to appreciate because the internet is there to help us solve our trouble. No one could imagine such a pandemic doing all this kind of harm or offering new opportunities to businesses. So it's to say, as we are celebrating the Internet Day, we are also reflecting on what the internet has done for us in the positive side, and also looking at how the internet can be potentially harmful. So our panelists are going to discuss in detail how the mental health space is something we should also talk about, and how to navigate the internet as a business person. But a bit about my background is I have a leaning in project management. So I've done a couple of project management tasks. I've also done business strategy, helping company and businesses just scale up by looking at how they're supposed to position themselves differently. So we're going to learn all that using the internet. We are going to look at how we can be able to help ourselves grow in terms of our performance and the internet. So that is what you're covering today. And allow me to present my screen real quick and take you through our presentation. Can you guys see my screen? I hope you can. So yeah, so we're going to learn what the internet is, and looking at what the internet is from a tech side, because I've also managed a couple of tech projects. It's to say, if I was supposed to tell you what the internet is, it's a global network of billions of computers and electronic devices that are making it possible to access any information or anything we want to access anywhere in the world in real time to communicate. You can do primarily anything from the internet, but it's also called going online. So basically it's looking across the internet and reflecting how we can be able to use it well is the main agenda today of why we're having this webinar. So I'll also go to the next slide just to tell you a bit about the internet, the advantage and the disadvantage of the internet, paying particular focus on the disadvantage, because the advantages are pretty much common to everyone. We're getting information from every subject imaginable. And we're also learning so much about what is coming, e-commerce platforms. We're learning about source of entertainment, listening to music, streaming, and all that stuff the internet is doing. There are endless things that the internet is doing to our lives. So one thing we would really want to appreciate is the internet itself, because even as we are looking at how we can be able to be different in terms of business and our self-growth, is to say internet is very destructive. We can get distracted by the internet. And I can really talk about this the whole day by saying, look at yourself, look at what you're doing, look at how you're spending so much time on TikTok, and look at how the internet is becoming unsafe for our children. Addressing all that together, it's to say we really have to understand the harms of the internet, because as much as there's so many advantages that we cannot even explain, we also have to look on the other side. So I look at the first aspect, and the first aspect is actually to say wasting of time is something that the internet is doing so much harm on. We're supposed to be working on meaningful work. And there's this article I was reading the other day, and it's funny because we really are supposed to seclude ourselves at some point to do meaningful or deep work. Be it that random person going to the Django to get the work done and get something in his pocket, be it that person who's working in the office trying to send out proposals, doing sales and all that stuff. The internet is really, really distracting people from achieving their goals. And we really have to focus on that. So TikTok, and you people are aware of what happened to Fortnite in some countries. There's this popular game called Fortnite. It was banned in some of the countries because of distractions, because of security issues. But wasting time is just an endless loop of what technology and what the internet can be able to do. So it's navigating around how we can be able to save ourselves from being a slave to the media, being a slave to the internet. Another aspect is the internet is not safe for our children. If you're in social media right now, it's crazy because anything can happen. Everything is unpredictable because we are looking at a sense of you getting into a random tweet post and someone literally posts some pornography material. And in the back of your head, you're asking yourself, if my kid was supposed to get on Twitter and even enter or look at a thread that is trending that does not relate in any way to any pornographic literature, why am I finding all this pornography in this site? Maybe we see Raila Odinga trending and you get there, you see, oh my God, like someone out of nowhere is posting some random stuff. And our children are actually not protected by the internet. And how to explore that, we can be able to become comprehensive in, protecting our children by having these security features to make sure we monitor what our children are doing. I was talking to a colleague of mine, she's a parent, and she's telling me that she's called Esther. Esther is really interesting because she tells me at some point she literally has to watch those cartoons before she subjects her children to watch them, because there's so much hidden information in terms of pornography and like so much objectification when it comes to even the cartoons itself that people are not aware of. So it's all about being intentional and making sure that you are looking at what your children are watching, because there's child pornography, there's human trafficking, and all these things are happening in the internet. And the really like concerns to make these things really less frequent, because at this point in time, it's all about addressing them. And so looking at the privacy exposures, we are looking at cybersecurity is becoming one of the things that people can be able to. Sorry?
Wilson, just a moment. just a moment.
Yeah.
Sorry for cutting you off.
Okay,
Before you
no
go on to
problem.
the next point,
Okay.
I'm really apologies for cutting you off, but
No problem,
Boniface,
no problem.
the founder of Team Set, needs to.
It's Dada.
Oh yeah, for Dada,
Yeah.
needs to be somewhere very urgently. So if you could just allow him to talk a little bit about DataDigital,
Okay.
and then you can proceed.
Okay,
Apologies
cool.
for that.
Okay, no problem. Welcome, Boniface. Sorry about that.
Thank you, Nashipai, and thank you, Eric, for this opportunity. I'm sorry, I have an emergency. I have to rush somewhere shortly. And I thank you because you already made some remarks regarding DataDigital correctly. So I don't want to repeat myself, but I just want to give you a brief background of how DataDigital started. And as a champion for empowerment of women and a firm believer in the rights of girls, you know, I saw an opportunity to set up a platform to amplify the voices of women in the society. So many people are doing great things, but we don't feel it, and it's taking longer to achieve the gender equality. And so being in the digital space, I'm sorry, for those who have just joined, my name is Boniface Gore. I'm the CEO and founder of DataDigital. My background is computer information systems, and I have been in this field since the year 2000. I think it's now 21 years. I am the CEO and founder of Digimat Solutions. Digimat Solutions is the creative agency focusing on supporting startups by, you know, producing marketing assets, digital campaign, and all that. Our website is digimat.co.ke. When you have some time, you'll visit. And so being in this space, we noticed that there was a gap in this, knowing media and the power of media. We decided to use the platform, and this was just last year when everyone retreated home and was working from home, and people lost jobs. And so we were wondering, I mean, how can we make sure that the conversation is on? You know, before COVID, we used to have all these campaigns, seminars, and, you know, right groups meeting and doing trainings and so on. And so with COVID, things changed, and everyone moved to Zoom and all these digital platforms. So we said, how can we, you know, enhance this campaign and you know, continue with our role of supporting and affirming women voices? And so we went ahead and created DataDigital. So DataDigital is a platform where women and girls' voices are affirmed and supported. Our main aim is to tell the story of those great women and girls who are doing great things, but their stories never get a chance to be aired in the mainstream. So we have decided to use digital space, and more especially internet, to be able to reach to the intended category of our society. Today, there are about 21 million internet users in Kenya. Okay, and of the 21 million users, 74% the traffic is driven through mobile devices. It means that there is mobile penetration is very high in the country. So we said we want to use this opportunity to continue affirming the voice of the girl child and of women. People think that women are empowered in this country. You just need to take a ride about 34 kilometers from the capital, deep into Maasai land, and then you'll appreciate that the woman who is empowered is in the city. But 30 kilometers from the city, that woman is not empowered. That is where we find women walking 10 kilometers going to look for water. Men don't do that. You find women taking milk to the market. Men don't do that. you find the same women who are challenged, you know, they are illiterate, you know, and they are challenged when it comes to, you know, financial literacy and so on. And so we want to use the power of digital and internet to try and, you know, provide this financial literacy and you know, adult education, and just to find a way of empowering that woman who is 30 kilometers from Nairobi and who cannot read and write, cannot transact M-Pesa business. They have to give their mobile phone to the agent to transact for them. And so DataDigital is a platform that promotes this, and it's like an advocacy. And we also tell stories of great women of this country, you know, the Wangari Maathais of this world. And if you visit our platforms, you will see us always, you know, quoting this, you know, wonderful quotes by these wonderful, great leaders who have been here just to inspire the younger. At Digimat Solutions, we also give opportunity to young ladies who are in the creative industry, especially those who are graduating from graphic design schools and you know, coding schools, you know, web developers. We want to give them this opportunity so that they can gain experience. You know, from school is academics, but here we give them practical experience. They handle live projects with live clients at Digimat Solutions. So we grow them and we help them establish their own trades and enterprises by helping them to register their enterprises, you know, help them to create enterprises. And I'm happy that I'm seeing Daktari here, Dr. Lucy. I think after this, I will look for you privately so that we can partner and help us with the training, give these young girls, you know, entrepreneurial skills, so that even as they become consultants out there, they know how to write and how to prepare invoices and receipts and so on. I can talk and talk and talk and go on and on and on about DataDigital because I'm so passionate about it. But I will stop here for now. You'll allow me to exit. I will be following the conversation on YouTube wherever I'm going to be. And I wish you all the best. Looking forward to more and more partnership to support the youth and more especially the girl child. I'm a father of 3 girls. Thank you very much. Nashipai, back to you.
Thank you very much, Boniface. As an active receiver in your target audience, you know, I'm female and I'm that Maasai girl you're talking about who you'll drive a couple miles away and find. We're really grateful for, you know, actually being considered. Not very many times will someone sit down and, you know, take an initiative to support the girl child, especially the unheard kind, right? So thank you very much, DataDigital. At this point, we'll go back to you, Wilson. Okay, as you wait for Wilson to screen share, I've heard Boniface talk about how it's about a certain fact in Kenya, and I'd actually researched that. So I have an internet fact for you. There are over 4.9 billion active users, active internet users, as compared to the 7.9 billion in the whole country, in the whole universe, right? So that means it's almost 50% of people who don't have access to the internet. Yeah. So are you ready, Wilson?
I was born ready. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Welcome.
Okay. Yeah, so basically I also have to notice, of course, we have some special people in the meeting. We have the Rotaract group from the Cooperative University and also Rotaract members from different universities. I also have a special appeal to make and also thank Moringa School for coming through, because Moringa is a really top-notch school. When time comes, I'm going to let Kenneth, our ICT lead, talk about it, because it's a great opportunity, because what Moringa School is doing for developers in Kenya and primarily in Africa is something that we cannot shy away from looking at. So they're also in the meeting, and as time is going by, we're going to have an opportunity to even listen to what they're going to tell us and hear about their stories as well. So you guys, you can stay ready for that. So going on with the presentation, It's to say we have to look at all the aspects of the internet. One of you guys is really hard on me right now saying, why are you not focusing on the advantages? Why are you going to the disadvantages? But I'm telling you, we can talk about the advantages the whole day because the advantages are endless. We are getting jobs from the internet. You can get opportunities from every aspect using the internet. But the disadvantages of the internet are equally to be addressed. We're getting a lot of cybersecurity concerns that we need to address. We're getting a lot of hacking. We really have to address that as well. Virus and malwares. We are getting cyberbullying, and like those are things that we should be able to address at this particular point. Not because we feel like advantages are not important. It is important to highlight what the internet is doing. The iceberg that made the Titanic not prevail because it crashed. They thought it was a tip of the iceberg, but one thing led to another. So as we are going on, I want us to reflect on businesses. How businesses are built is primarily because of entrepreneurship opportunities. Dr. will get the time to even take you through her presentation and how you can navigate everything across entrepreneurship and business. But for me, because I have a leaning and a strong experience based on businesses and how they operate, I'll tell you for a fact, the internet is a really, really big and a better factor for us to be able to what can I say, to be able to leverage, or to look at your value chain in business and be able to grow your business as well. Are you operating in the service industry or you're dealing with goods in the fast moving consumer goods space? And how can you use the internet to make sure that you are growing yourself and your business? We're also looking at the technology itself. You're looking at Internet of Things. We're looking at the blockchain technology and what is happening right now in digitization. So allow me just to share some emerging trends for what is happening right now in the disruption space in the internet. So just a minute, I'll share the screen. Yes, there it is. Okay, I hope you guys can see my screen. The growth drivers in the space, there's a lot of disruption, but primarily the growth drivers are. Can someone confirm whether you're looking at my screen?
Yes, Wilson, we can clearly see your screen.
Okay, good. Yeah, perfect. So we're looking at the growth drivers in technology, and we are looking at how the e-commerce section is growing and how bulk SMS services are growing, because it's a potential area to look at. And we're looking at digitization. And the digitization aspect a reliable. Okay, sorry.
Is
Someone
Wilson breaking or it's just
I'm
me?
breaking.
Can somebody else confirm that for me? Wilson, I think you're breaking if it's not for me. Brian, is Wilson okay?
Can you guys hear me now?
You're clear now.
Okay, good. So I'll say that all these adoptions that are coming in fintech, I'm looking at the disruptions of the venture capital funding space, and you guys know Cheaper Cash. We just recently funded close to $100 million to perform their operations in the financial technology service. And among other platforms that have been able to be created and funded is to say we really have to look for reliable clients to grow our finances in business. Because if we are going to stick to a single client or maybe stick to banks alone just to move our money across different clients and different like value chains, we are going to be putting our business in risk and hurting the revenue of the business, because our business is primarily built across the product it offers. It's built across the brand itself. It's built across the customers you're targeting. It's built across the compliance you have for the country that you're supposed to be operating in. And most importantly, revenue. That's the fundamental factor of a business being developed. So even as you're growing your businesses, you really have to look at the value chain and look at how can I be able to do something, or look at a supplier to be able to get more revenue and cut costs that come, because I really have to make sure I can be able to sustain the business. And how it usually happens is when you have identified the right person to work with you, you can now even try to look backwards on how you can be able to structure compliance contracts and be able to have a repetitive cycle. And one thing I always like to tell people, it's at some point you really have to, businesses are built out of relationships. So it's a
Wilson, you're hanging again. You're breaking. Okay, so I think Wilson is having internet issues. He'll be back soon. In the meantime, I'd like to recognize again that today is our World Internet Day. Our theme is Internet Today and Tomorrow. We have a sub-theme of the internet age and its fortunes. I'd like to highlight its fortunes because that has been $1 million questions for days to come. Is the internet proving to be more harm than good? But I think, as you have seen, it all depends with how you manage it and the internal controls that you have, whether it be in your households, in your companies, and all that. Yeah, so Wilson, you're back. Thank you. Welcome back.
Sorry about that. Let me reshare my screen. Yeah, I was talking about, yes. So what I was saying is businesses are built out of relationships, and we should not take that for granted, because at some point we had to go for a burial of a client who had lost his parent. So it's to say we are going there because not because we don't want to go, or we are not going because
Excuse me, really. I think maybe you need to check on your internet connection first and ensure it's reliable enough, and then probably you can come back and we can continue if at all you're hearing me clearly. Can you hear me really?
Kenneth, yes, we can hear you, but you're quite far from your speaker.
Okay.
If you could be more audible, we'd really appreciate that.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, clearly.
Okay. I don't know what I'm going to do about Wilson's issue, but I think Nashipai, wasn't Dr. Lucy having something else to share with the team? So I think you could give Dr. Nashipai the chance to carry on, and then you can wait on for Wilson. If it's the issue, then we can give him the next opportunity to carry on with this presentation, please.
Okay.
Okay, I think that will be okay. Thank you. Back
That's
to you.
lovely. Okay. Thank you, Kenneth. So it's at this juncture that we'll welcome Daktari, that is Dr. Lucy Mainaki Ganane. She's a senior lecturer, as she's told us, an entrepreneurship expert, researcher and director at Cooperative University of Kenya. And for me, she's those people who you say, when I grow up, I'd like to be. Yeah, so welcome, Dr. Lucy.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I had already introduced myself, and I am so glad that we are together. I am happy to be here because it gives me great pleasure to be among the youth, and basically just because I know that iron sharpens iron. I know as I interact with you, I will learn as you also learn from me. So like I said, that my area of specialization is entrepreneurship, an area that I'm so passionate about. And, you know, I have known that the world cannot be what it is today without entrepreneurship and internet. Yeah, I have known that entrepreneurship is actually the driver of our economy, and it is the engine that can take us to where we want to go. We talk about very many things. We talk about Vision 2030 in Kenya. We talk about the Big Four agenda. We talk about globally, we talk about the SDGs, 17 of them, and they cannot be realized without entrepreneurship and internet. So basically, I encourage all of us to actually, you know, be very positive about entrepreneurship. It is not just about studying the area, but it's about translating your knowledge, your skills, and your area of specialization into an entrepreneurial venture. And I must say thumbs up to those who are already doing what we are here today for. It is still an entrepreneurial venture, and it is a step towards greatness. So you can allow me to share my screen. Okay, yeah, so there I am. And just to make a very a small presentation on the subject of the day. I can talk so much about entrepreneurship, but today I think the subject is different. I am basically just going to mention and see how, and talk about how entrepreneurship and business are actually, you know, derive a lot of support from the internet. So, and as I was doing this, I was just imagining. Yeah, I don't know whether any one of us has actually just imagined, if you were to close your eyes for 2 minutes and imagine that there is no internet anywhere. Yeah, many a times when there is a blackout in our homes, in our offices, and we are not able to work with our phones and computers, we basically just become very disoriented. Yeah, because of the role that the internet plays. So somebody has already defined it, given the meaning that it is, is a vast network that connects computers all over the world. And that is why for us, as business people, we are able to connect with people of all walks of life. Yeah, we are able to share information real time. We are able to communicate. Yeah, and so I just cannot, personally, I just cannot imagine the world or life without an internet and without entrepreneurship. That world would be, like I'm saying here, that world would be upside down. You don't know where to start. One cannot pay their bills. For those of us who are in business, we basically do a lot of, payment, bills payments, purchases and everything on our phone. Yeah, so the world would actually be upside down. We would be so miserable because we would spend so much time figuring out how to do some of those things. Withdrawing money from the bank would be a waste of time to go and queue yet I can withdraw right now on my phone and go about my businesses. So yeah, so the world would be upside down. Life would be so miserable. Things would seem very impossible. And for entrepreneurs and for business people, their world would basically just be shattered. Darkness would just set on them that they find they are not able to actually move. So that is how important internet is to us. And, we use it virtually for everything. It is one of the unique invention. We talk about invention in entrepreneurship. And I must say that this is one of the most unique invention that has brought about immeasurable impacts across the globe. It's not about Kenya. It's not about, but everywhere. Everybody just requires internet to be able to operate. And I've already said that, the whole world talks about the Sustainable Development Goals that are supposed to empower every nation economically. Now, this cannot happen without, it cannot happen without the internet. Yeah, it can't. So this is a very important invention. It has created convenience in sharing and receiving real-time information between users, between businesses, between people, and everywhere. It is actually a driver of the key areas that affects our daily lives, directly or indirectly. And you will allow me just to mention those key areas, yeah? The key areas that all of us indulge in almost on a day-to-day basis. Like I said, communication, connectivity, and information sharing. This cannot happen without the internet. Now, businesses would be on their knees without these facilities. Now, I can recall, I don't know how many of us were born those days when we used to use the booth, that if you want to make a call, you have to go from shop to shop looking for coins so that you can go to a booth and, you press the button and start putting those coins. You have lined them up, yeah? And that used to be very, very stressful because sometimes all your coins would go and you haven't made any communication. So internet is so impactful that today I can basically just communicate with anyone. I run my business, on my desk. I will call whoever is in charge and give them instructions and we are good to go. So the other area that the internet has really brought about a great impact is the banking industry. Like I said, most people now are no longer going to the bank to queue. We have PesaLink on our phones. We are paying our workers. We are paying for bills. We are, everything on our phone. And you can imagine, it is such time saving and such convenience to be able to interact that, you are buying something. Like I don't have really to entrust anybody with the money, the business money. I tell them, okay, go to that shop. I am going to negotiate with them on phone and I will make my payment, right? Yeah, so, and I do that real time on my phone. So that is how internet has made the business very easy. Now, the other area that internet has really impacted is education. I don't know what we would be doing with the kind of systemic shock of COVID-19 that we are in. Institutions would have just closed down. But look at it, friends, that, we have continued teaching online. Basically because of the internet. Yeah, we have continued doing virtual teaching. We have continued referring to e-books, electronic books that are found in the net. And, we have continued to do online graduation, because of the internet, right? Yeah, so as we celebrate, I think I am one very excited person, as you can see, because it has made my life just very easy as an educationist, as a business person, and yeah, everything has become a lot easier because of internet. Research cannot happen without internet. It is a rich source of information. Yeah, the internet is a rich resource, as far as the information is concerned, whether you are doing action research or whatever it is that one is doing, yeah, it cannot happen without that, without the internet, because we need that information. Imagine many times you just need information and you, at a click of a button, you have so many options. You just need to check what is it that really fits my shoe so that you can be able to borrow. The other area is artificial intelligence, where they analyze data. Internet can analyze data, make decisions, and act on the data without human beings. Can you imagine? Yeah, of course, there's the other negative side of it, that it is facing us out. It's facing the labor out. But you know, this happens, and it is a good thing. Sports and leisure activities. Yeah, people. You know, the other day I was watching something that was circulating on the social media, that, you know, people, you know, watched was it the Man U and the Liverpool? I think Man U and Liverpool. I don't know whether it's Man U and whatever. But, you know, the moment Man U was defeated by the other team, now people were so annoyed. I saw now somebody really beating up their dog. I don't know whether you saw. You may imagine that he did not go to Spain or wherever the ball was being played, but he watched online. Yeah, so entertainment, sports and leisure, we are there. Internet is just there, and it's making a lot of, you know, our moments for unwinding. When we are tired, you sit there and you are able to have your good moments for unwinding. And finally, the other area that the internet has really impacted is my favorite, entrepreneurship and business. And you all know that, you know, entrepreneurship, like I said at the beginning, cannot happen. And business cannot happen today. Anyone who is running an enterprise or a business today knows that this cannot happen without the internet. Yeah, it has basically just changed the way entrepreneurs and business people operate in the whole world. Right? Yes, it has just changed the way entrepreneurs operate. You know, previously, you know, you just deal with a very with the local markets, but now we have, the globe has become a market just right with us. And you know, in all stages of business and entrepreneurial venture creation, we just need the internet. Whether it is idea generation, it is launching, it is, you know, a feasibility analysis, it is growth, it is expansion, whatever, any area of the business cannot happen without the internet. Very important. So the internet provides a perfect market platform for customers and the vendors to interact. Yeah, the customers and the vendors interact, and you know, the business people, entrepreneurs should take advantage of this so that they can be able to, you know, articulate their products and services and present them, display them, market them to the whole world, not just to very few people. We need to take advantage of that. Yeah, because people, once people see the kind of merchandise that we have, then they can place their orders online. And, you know, entrepreneurs must be able to be real time, check out those orders, respond to what the customers want, and deliver in real time. Then you will be saying that you're actually in business. Okay. Yeah. So entrepreneurs and business people have used this, the internet, have taken advantage of the internet or leveraged on the internet by engaging in market research. I may not be able to read all this, but maybe I can share the notes later, that, you know, they go out there. Yeah. Before starting the business, you want to know who is your customer, because you are not starting the enterprise for yourself. And, you know, entrepreneurship is about identifying a unique gap in the market. It is about coming up with a unique product. It is about value proposition and ensuring that, you know, the way it is presented in the market, it needs or meets the need of that particular customer that has been targeted. Now, for one to be able to do all that, You must be able to know how to leverage on the internet. So it helps to get consumer data, to determine demand, to get to know what products and services are required in the market. And, using that, then the entrepreneurs can be able to create their business. They can be able to create a unique venture, right? Yes, and of course, that increases the chances of success. So market research is very key, excuse me, for any aspiring entrepreneur or business person. And there are so many programs that can aid that, or tools that can aid in market research that are found in the internet. Then we have the mobile internet access, which enables businesses to get potential customers, and are able to access the audience so easily. There is the access to information by businesses, and they need to leverage this. Get to know what your competitors are doing in the internet. Get to know who your competitors are. How are they doing? How can I take advantage of their weaknesses? Now, how can I make my business be ahead in as far as competition is concerned? Communication, you take advantage again of communication, that today you should not wait to really, send salespeople to go and talk to the customers out there. You can communicate with them on your phone. Send them bulk SMSs, right? We have that facility, and businesses should take advantage of that. Entrepreneurs should engage in that, engage in bulk SMSs, the emails, in the WhatsApp, the Instagrams, all that. And the Facebook, where you can even, advertise your business. You can actually, have a Facebook page, and you can be able to update your customers and the potential ones on what you are doing. It is real-time marketing, using the internet, the mobile phone. It's just a gadget in your hands, and you can do so much more than, so many people can be able to do. Then, of course, the other area that businesses need to leverage on is access to the global market. Initially, without the internet, of course, people were just thinking about the local market, but now one needs to think about a market globally, so that, as you target, as the business people and as entrepreneurs come up with marketing strategies, they should be thinking about the bigger market, the global market. The global market. And so they should be able to know who their audience are, and target them with the kind of campaigns that they think are cost effective and are engaging in as far as the target market is concerned. Okay, so again, the internet helps the business people, and we need to do this in cost-cutting measures, because we are able to source even the raw materials or the products. If one is in a production business, they can be able to source the raw materials at very reasonable prices from the internet. If one is in an operational business, then they can be able to get products, for sale again from the internet. So we need to also leverage on that as businesses. Then it is an excellent tool for increasing the visibility of the business. Now, some people say, as long as you have advertised in the newspaper, that is it. But it is good. It is good to get to the social media. It is good to get to the internet, because the kind of visibility of your business and the activities that you're engaged in, you cannot attain that without currently using the social media and using the internet. For your business to be known, for you to be able to tell people, look, I am here and this is what I'm doing, and I am standing out in this area. This is my value proposition. You just have to take advantage of the internet. Now, social media I've mentioned, and then of course, businesses should be able to leverage on automation, yeah, making processes a lot easier. Yeah, so automating their accounting procedures, automating their recruitment procedures, automating their marketing procedures, and so on. And you find that with that kind of automation, then businesses increase their chances of productivity and success. And finally, maybe about storage, yeah. Internet is a very important storage right now of our records, yeah, and this is happening in the cloud because previously you just save a document and with a blackout, or maybe if your computer crashes, that is it. But now we have the provision of cloud storage that we need to take advantage of as entrepreneurs and business people. I think somebody had already talked about the disadvantages of the internet. Competition is very stiff. We have very many entrepreneurs bringing their products there. And this, of course, affects the prices. The prices go down. There is also reduced networking physically. And, sometimes people are able to come up with the very solid and unique ideas when they interact face to face. So others, I think, had been mentioned. Without discipline, internet can be very addictive. It can be time wasting. People can get into, they can get into states where they do not have time to rest. Like I will tell you for sure, many times I've found myself sitting and working up to 1 a.m. or even 2 a.m. Yeah, so you find that is a disadvantage because you find that people are not able to disconnect from the work. You want to work and work and work. Yeah, and then of course we have the identity theft on the internet, hacking, viruses, cheating, and so on. These are few compared to the kind of advantages that the internet gives us. So friends, entrepreneurship is for all of you, all of us, because all of us are experts in our areas of training and specialization, and we need to translate our skills, our knowledge, our education into practical businesses. Let's not wait to be employed. Let's get out there and see what can we be able to do with our skills, with our knowledge, whether it is in engineering, it is in psychology, it is in whatever area. We need to get out there and see how we can leverage on the internet to be able to come up with an entrepreneurial venture. And my parting shot this morning is, please dare dream. Dare dream. Believe in yourself. Transform your mindset. Generate unique ideas. Identify innovative entrepreneurial opportunities around you and leverage on the internet for these opportunities. And if you do that, then you will realize your dream as you engage your full potential. I wish you all the best. Please become the renowned entrepreneurs of today, not tomorrow. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Datai. Barbara Corcoran, right? She's a writer, right? She said, you can't fake passion, right? If passion is the drive to existence, you have power in what you do, because every day you wake up and you do something that you love, right? And I mean, you've seen the passion that is just emanating from Dr. Ali's presentation. We really appreciate your presentation. And I think it has inspired several people to just be passionate about what you're doing. Because tech, that's the thing about tech. There's so many different fields, right? Whether you're in cybersecurity, in data science, in software development, web, mobile, regardless of what you're doing, as long as you're passionate about it, as long as you're happy to wake up every morning and go do your thing, I think there's power in what you're doing, right? So at this juncture, I'd like to invite Nuru. So, excuse me. Nuru Amin, as she told us, she's a psychologist that focuses on mental health, and she's also a digital creator. Welcome, Nuru. We can't wait to hear what you have to tell us this wonderful day.
Thank you very much for that wonderful introduction. Someone was to help me share screen. I don't know who's going to help me with that.
Nuru, you can just be introducing us, telling us an interesting fact about you as Waiswa sorts you out.
Okay, no problem. So good morning, everyone. I hope we are all doing well. So as you've heard, my name is Nuru Amin. I am a psychologist. I am concentrating currently on working with families and couples. And a lot of people ask me why families and couples. It's interesting because I find that most of our problems actually root from our family of origin. So if you have anxiety, depression, it may have developed due to family problems or lack of that family connection. Apart from that, I think we'll do a small exercise before I start as they screen share. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna do this together. Okay. And I know I can't see you guys, so I hope we'll be doing this together because it would be really weird if I'm doing it alone on camera. We're gonna do a breathing exercise. It's a grounding technique, just for all of us to get in that mood and to get started. So what I'm gonna do is we're gonna breathe in, and then I'm gonna count to 5 as we breathe in, and then we're gonna hold for another 5 seconds, and then we're gonna breathe out. So it's breathing in for 5 seconds, hold, then breathe out, okay? Okay, so we can start. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Release. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Great. We're gonna do it again. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Release. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Maybe one person can tell me how they felt after the technique. How does it feel? Anyone? It's relaxing. Okay, Mercy. Okay, awesome. All right, so without further ado, I think I will begin. I'll be tackling the youth space in the internet, mostly in regards to mental health. So next slide. Yeah, so we can't talk about mental health without beginning by defining what is mental health. So mental health is a state of mind characterized by emotional well-being. Okay, I'm gonna define it in sections. So we're gonna start with emotional well-being. What is emotional well-being? How you react to your emotions. I remember Daktari giving an example of the match between Man U and Liverpool, and the man who was beating the dog because they lost. So this is how this man decided to react to their emotions, the emotions of sadness or losing. And then we have good behavioral adjustment, and good behavioral adjustment goes hand in hand with emotional well-being. So how you react to your emotions, that is the behavior that comes out of it. So you need to adjust your behavior to become good, yeah, in terms of reacting to your emotions. And then we have relative freedom from anxiety and disabling symptoms. What does this mean? Anxiety in layman's language is basically just fear. It's an overwhelming fear. So we all have fear. Yeah, we have fear of death. We have fear of, not succeeding. We all have fears, but then when it becomes overwhelming, when it becomes too much, then it becomes anxiety. But we all have this. So how we regulate this and how we are relatively free from it determines your mental health. And we have the capacity to establish constructive relationships and healthy coping mechanisms. Okay, so constructive relationships. Sometimes we get ourselves into relationships that are very parasitic, or relationships that harm us, are very violent and abusive. So having constructive relationships is part of mental health. And then lastly, we have having healthy coping mechanisms. And coping mechanisms can be different for everyone. For the man who was beating the dog, that was his way of coping with the loss. So yeah, you can cope in healthier ways by doing journaling or interacting with nature, going outside, seeing the sun, seeing the clouds. It helps a lot. Yeah, so that is the basic definition of mental health. And if I would summarize it in one word, I would say mental health is generally lifestyle. It's how you react to the things that are around you, your environment, your emotions, your body, your coping mechanisms, and your behavior. So it's basically just your lifestyle. We can go to the next slide. So although I'm not an expert on the internet, I found this study that was saying the internet is one of the fastest growing technologies in the world. The number of web users worldwide is estimated at 513 million, which is a lot. There is evidence that seeking health information is one of the most common reasons for using the internet. About 100,000 websites dedicated to health information have been identified. So as we know, humans are very social creatures, and I think technology has really developed a lot during the past 2-3 years, and with the coming of Corona. So we need that companionship. And since we were locked up, social media became one of the backbones of our interactions. And we are getting to know that getting health information is one of the most common reasons for using the internet. And that really concerns me, because self-diagnosis is one of the biggest reasons why the internet, one of the biggest disadvantages of the internet, rather. Yeah. We can move on. Next slide. All right. What does good mental health and well-being look like for young people? And as we talk about this, I'm just going to pose this question to each and every one of you guys. As I said, mental health is a personal journey. It's a spectrum that we all go through. We are all on different levels of our mental health journey. And so mental health and well-being can look different for everyone. So what is it to you? What is mental health and well-being to you? As you ask yourself that, we can move on as I tell you what are the general characteristics of a good mental health. So as I said, mental well-being is a personal journey, and everyone is on the spectrum and trying to get, to that stable baseline mental health. But generally, we have a few common characteristics. So having a good mental health and well-being means being able to feel, think, and react in ways that you, your body, and your mind need as fully and independently as possible. Now, in this point, I'm going to focus on fully and independently. What do I mean by fully and independently? By this, I mean you are able to feel, control your emotions, think and react to those thoughts and emotions from intrinsically from yourself, not influenced by your environment or your parents or your peers or your school. This is a decision you make autonomously by yourself, indifferentiated from all these other, social factors and economic factors and all that. Number two, we have being content with your progress and working towards your goals without straining yourself. Now, this is very important. Mainly because when you're on social media, when you're on the internet, there's a lot of comparison. There's a lot of my friends went to Diani last week, so I want to go. There's a lot of because so and so is doing this, I have to do it. So you're comparing yourself constantly with people, and that kind of diminishes your ability to be content with where you are as a person, with who you are, and with what you have. So being content is very important in determining your mental well-being. And then we have number 3, being able to carry out daily tasks and engaging in activities we enjoy. This can seem very normal for people. Like you wake up every day, you go to the shower, you go to work or to school, you carry out your day as normal, but it doesn't happen this way for everyone. There's some people who can't get out of bed in the morning. There are others who can't shower. Like to them, it's such a huge task. And probably these are people who are having depressive thoughts and all that. But being able to just wake up in the morning and do your daily tasks should be something that you're very grateful for, because there's so many people who can't. And then being able to build healthy relationships around us. I can't stress enough on this. Your support system is very determinant on how your mental health will be. And then we have lastly, being mentally healthy. It doesn't mean that you're always happy. No, it does not. We live a life that has ups and downs. Yeah. So being sad, being happy, being passionate, these are primary emotions that we all have. And it doesn't mean that we'll be happy when we have a good mental state. Yeah, we tend to get sad, like when your team loses or when you lose someone close to you, we tend to get sad. But having a good mental well-being means that you're stable and you're able to react to these feelings in a very healthy way. We can go to the next slide. So yeah, now we can dive into mental health and the internet. So the internet has become part of our daily lives and routine, but how does this affect us mentally? Yeah, again, as I'm asking this, I need you to just ponder on that question. How does the internet affect you as a person, you as an autonomous individual mentally? So the internet has both positive and negative effects on mental health and on everything else, as we've seen. Even Daktari has talked about the positive and the negatives in commerce. It is therefore important to understand yourself and the impacts of the internet, both positive and negative, in order to make the most out of it and to protect your mental health. So from there, I'm going to dive into the pros and cons, of course, of the internet and in regards to our mental health. You can go to the next slide. So of course, as said before, I cannot exhaust all the positives and the negatives of the internet, but I have a few that I would like us to discuss. So positives are they're common. We know them. Yeah, you connect with the communities online. We have currently communities like AA, Alcoholic Anonymous, which are happening online. We have support groups, grief groups, and all that. So that's a positive. Reconnecting with family, friends, and contacts, finding inspirational resources, and even for school and educational resources. Then is a self-discovery. And on this point, there are two sides. So it can easily ease your self-discovery into knowing who you are, or it can mislead you into just a confused state. Yeah. So it's very important to also know like what sources we are getting our information from. Then gives an outlet for your creativity and self-expression. So this is mostly for people who do maybe content creation, or you do content online. So it gives you that opportunity to, use your creative side. And then lastly, has made life easier. I mean, we pay for things via phone, we buy things via phone. We get Uber. I mean, it has just made life way easier. But now that we know the positives, what are some of the negatives on our mental health? We have maintaining an appearance. In terms of, I'm focusing on social media on this part. So you keep seeing people posting, and you also want to do the same because you want to keep engaging with your social media, community. So this kind of puts a pressure on you. It stresses you because you want to keep giving, you see other people doing it, so you want to do it, and this pressures you. And then there is unhealthy comparisons. We've talked about this. You keep comparing yourself with people you don't even know. The problem about social media is you don't see the negative side of people's lives. You only see when they're happy. You only see when they're jovial. That's what people post. So when you see people going to Diani and you're comparing yourselves and you don't have the money to do it, this kind of also brings mental health issues, depression and anxiety and all that. Then we have cyberbullying, and this goes hand in hand with hacking and all those other IT terms that I don't know. But yeah, cyberbullying has become very rampant, especially people, commenting on photos about body shape, body size, shaming people about their ethnicity and all that. So yeah. And then we have exposure to harmful content. I think it was one of the first speakers, I think, mentioned this. Yeah, you're exposed to pornography and your children are exposed to. I actually saw a documentary that was mentioning that in children cartoons, there are pedophilic signs that are put. I don't know, they're hidden somewhere in the background. So your children grow up watching these cartoons and they see those signs and they get curious to want to know what are these signs? What do they mean? And this is very harmful to them. And then we have self-diagnosis, as we talked about again. We have over 100,000 medical sites on the internet, and this can be very dangerous, especially in the mental health sector, because you may diagnose yourself as depression, but you get to realize when you see a professional that most of these mental health disorders have the same, almost the same symptoms. So if you diagnose yourself and you diagnose yourself wrongly, then you end up living your life, with knowing at the back of your mind that I have this and yet you don't. And then we have addiction. Internet addiction is very real, and we're going to talk about that in a few. And then we have fear of missing out, in short, FOMO. Depression and anxiety can also heighten your use of social media, or can also be brought by social media. And then it's a gateway to other addictions, i.e. gambling and porn. And then we have isolation. Isolation, in terms of, it becomes your scapegoat, yeah? So there's a study at the University of Pennsylvania that found that high usage of Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram increases rather decreases feelings of loneliness. So it increases rather than decrease. So being online all day, every day on Snapchat and on all these other social media platforms can actually increase loneliness rather than decrease it. We can move on to the next slide. So now that we know all the background about the internet and how it affects our mental health, what exactly drives your internet usage? I found these 5 to be the topmost. So we have social media, the constant alerts and notifications. So social media has become very accessible. We most of us have phones, so it becomes very accessible. You don't have to have your laptop and all that. So this round-the-clock hyperconnectivity can trigger impulse, to always want to check her. You get a notification from Instagram, Edgar Obari has posted. So you want to know the tea. You want to know, what is this man posting today? What's the tea? What's happening in Kenya? So yeah, that drives your internet usage. And then we have FOMO, fear of missing out. You don't want to miss out. You want to know what's happening. You always want to be on the know. And then we have as a security blanket. So I don't know if you guys have ever noticed, but when you're with a group of people and you're not really resonating with what they're talking to, immediately the first thing you would do is take your phone. Sometimes you're not even scrolling on social media. Sometimes you open the calculator and start calculating, but still the first thing you pick up is your phone. So this is how you use it as a security blanket. So you try and cover your anxiety instead of dealing with it by covering it with a security blanket, which is social media or using your phone. And then we have a mask for other underlying problems, i.e. depression, anxiety. And then we have the last one being simply just boredom. You're bored, you have nothing to do, so why not? Okay. So signs that your internet usage is impacting your mental health. How do you know that, I'm using too much, I need to cut down, I need to stop? Number one, spending more time on social media than with real world friends. I know that could have been difficult last year and last year but one. But right now curfew is out, so you can go out and see your friends, but please be safe, wear your mask. So yeah, please don't spend all your time on social media. Try go outside, connect with the world, connect with the environment around you. And then we have number two, comparing yourself unfavorably with others on social media. I've talked about this very vastly. Then being distracted at school or work. Yeah. So you're always getting that notification, you're at work, you're at school, and you always just want to be on social media. You have work to be done, but you put it on pause just to see what's happening online. And then we have engaging in risky behaviors in order to gain online recognition. And this has been growing very fast, very fast. For those of you who use TikTok, I have seen so many challenges that are very, very dangerous. We had the crate challenge, people who are falling all over. And then we have this new one where people are smoking and then holding the smoke inside their lungs, which is very, very dangerous. I think there's a kid who died out of that. So please, if you're seeing yourself getting into these behaviors, take a small break. And then we have suffering from sleep problems. And again, this is a huge problem for youth. I have realized that a lot of youth have insomnia. And this is because mostly when you're going to bed, you have your phone, you're scrolling through internet, the light is hitting your face, it's hitting your eyes, and your brain doesn't recognize that it's time to sleep because you're not telling it it's time to sleep. So you end up scrolling until 2 a.m, you're still there and you're asking yourself, why can't I sleep? Yeah. So the next one is, or the last one actually, is worsening symptoms of anxiety or depression. Yeah. Because if you're online all day and you're already feeling sad and you're comparing yourself with people all day, then the sadness just continues to grow. Yeah. So to finish up on the signs, I would just like to say that everyone is different again, and there's no specific amount of time on social media, or rather the frequency or the number of posts you make that indicate your use is becoming unhealthy. Rather, it is how can I put this? The impact and the time spent, what impact social media has made on your life, and the time spent has on your mood. Yeah, what impact does it have on your life and your mood? So if for example you're scrolling on social media and you're feeling depressed and you keep on comparing yourself, you see, it is having an impact on your mood and your lifestyle. Yeah, so it doesn't matter how much time you spend, but how you react to it. Okay, I think we can move on to the next slide. Internet addiction. As I had mentioned, this is a very real thing, and it's an addiction just like any other addiction, although it's still in the works. So it works the same way as alcohol and other drugs and gambling as well. So the internet tends to release this feel-good hormone, the dopamine in your mind. So the minute you feel good when you're scrolling on social media, the dopamine keeps increasing. So once you stop scrolling on social media, then you notice that your dopamine level goes down. So you keep wanting to go back so that you raise your dopamine levels. So the internet addiction is characterized by excessive or poorly controlled preoccupations, urges, or behaviors regarding computer use and internet access that leads to impairment or distress. The DSM-5, and for those of us who don't know the DSM-5 is a diagnostic manual used by psychologists and psychiatrists to diagnose. It included internet gaming disorder as a condition for further studies. As I said, it's still in the works. Although the focus of this disorder is, on gaming, the author points out that internet gaming disorder is also referred to as internet use disorder, internet addiction, or gaming addiction. Yeah. And I'd like us to ask ourselves these 4 questions. Again, it goes back to all we've talked about. So do you stay on the internet or online longer than you thought you would? For example, you say, let me just check my mail. And then you find yourself just scrolling on Instagram. So your intention was to check your mail, but then for some reason you've been on Instagram for an hour. Yeah. So do you do that? And then number 2, you find yourself thinking about when you will go back online. As I said, the dopamine release, you always want to go back to what releases that feel-good hormone. And then we have number 3, you have trouble trying to cut down on the amount of time you spend online. Yeah. And sometimes this could be due to boredom. Yeah. Most of us are at home. Most of us are working online. So you have nothing to do with your time. You always want to, go back there, and you've been trying to cut down, but it's not working. And then we have number 4, your grades or schoolwork or even work, your relationships as well have suffered because of the amount of time you spend online. Yeah. So I hope we're asking ourselves these questions as we move on. Okay. Lastly, we're going to look at how to build a healthy internet life. Okay. So number 1, we have reduced online time. And I know this is easier said than done. I am one of the culprits. I can be online all day. But how can you do this? How can you reduce time online? Number 1, you can use an app to track how much time you spend on social media. And I'm sure there's so many of those these days. And then you can also turn off your phone at certain times of the day. So if you're not using your phone, or if you're not expecting any urgent information on your phone, you can switch it off. And then number 3, don't bring your phone or tablet to bed. And I would also insist on the table. If you're eating as a family, try and engage with your family. Don't bring your phone. And to bed also, don't bring your phone, because the bedroom is supposed to be a sleeping place, not a watching or a chatting place. And then we have number 4, disable social media notifications. Now, this is something I have tried myself, and I can tell you for sure that it works. For like 2 months, I had disabled my Snapchat notifications because they were just a lot. And it really helped me cut down my use of Snapchat. And then we have try remove social media apps from your phone that you do not need. Yeah, sometimes we download a lot of those, and that they just fill up the storage. So try and clean your phone every so often. And then we have the other one, step 2, is change your focus. So how are you using your social media? What's the focus? What's your intention of using your social media? Are you using social media as a substitute for real life? Are you just avoiding to go out because you can talk to people online? Are you an active or passive user of social media? How are you using it? Yeah. And then by passive, I mean passively just scrolling through posts. You're not even looking for anything specific. You're just passing time by passively moving through it. Yeah. But if you're active, you're engaging, you're always posting. Yeah, if it's a business and you're always engaging and posting with your clients, then that's okay. But if it's just passively wasting time, then it becomes a problem. And then number 3, we have spend more time with offline friends. Yeah. I think it's very, very important. And if I know some of us will say we are introverts, so we don't like spending time with friends, then go outside, experience, nature, pick a flower for yourself, see the sun. Yeah. And just find something to do that is outside the scope of social media usage. And then we have lastly, expressing gratitude. And this is very, 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 very important. And when I say expressing gratitude, I'm talking about specific gratitude. When people are expressing gratitude, I know most people would say, I'm grateful for life, I'm grateful for being alive, for being healthy. But gratitude should be personal and it should be specific. So let me give an example. I can say that I am very grateful for being given this opportunity to be here today to talk to you guys and be able to, impart this knowledge. That is gratitude. You're very specific and it's something that has happened during the day. And this helps you take time to reflect, practice mindfulness, be in the present, and also helps you cut down on your usage of social media. Yeah, that was about all from me today. If you want to contact me, I have my socials down there. We have my email, my Instagram. I do a lot of content on mental health. So if you want to learn more about mental health, please do give a follow. And if you have any questions, I can take those now.
Thank you very much, Nuru. That was so wholesome. From the, breathing to be grounded to all the things we've learned, right? I think the days that we live in is very different from like the days our parents lived in the sense of you get to keep tabs on people you've been with since primary, your competitor from primary to high school through to uni. And sometimes people take things too seriously. Like you're seeing people highlight just their wins on social media and all that, and you're there constantly just pushing yourself, thinking you're not, amounting to anything in your life. But that's the thing, nobody's going to, shoot a video of them, with their craziest nightmares or their losses, right? People will just highlight their wins and create a very bad perspective of how their life is perfect, right? But you don't know. So I learned very early to just focus on yourself, right? It's nice to appreciate when you see all these things, but they shouldn't really have a trajectory on the decisions that you make in your life. Yeah. So Nuru, thank you very much for that. Keep doing the good work you're doing. Mental health is a big challenge. It's actually a pandemic within our generation, the Generation Z. And we just really appreciate that there are people within our generation that can actually, highlight this and, challenge us to do better, right? Yeah. So thank you very much, Nuru. At this point, if Wilson is back, he'll finish off with his presentation right before we enter the panelist discussion. So Wilson, are you here?
Yes, yeah, and first I want to apologize because I've been having a bad connection. It's something I couldn't avoid actually. It was a blackout, so my router went off. But it's to say we've had a lot of learning today, and even before, I'm going to keep it really short because most of the things I wanted to present have already been presented. It's to say take a moment and reflect about everything that we've discussed today. And this is something that is not new. We're going to be holding these kinds of events. As Tim said, we're going also to be partnering with DADA and all other organizations that are interested or willing to be able to join our space to bring a difference in the youth, and also just definitely generally anybody in the entrepreneurship space and business and the technology side as well, so that we can be able to work together. I'll do a quick presentation about two things. And I hope you guys are gonna bear with me. I'm really going to keep it short because time we want to focus on the other time. So Nashipa, you'll tell me whether you guys can see my screen so that I can know that I'm on the right track.
Yes, we can see your screen.
Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Perfect. So this is something called an innovation landscape. And Dr. has given us a good presentation about entrepreneurship. But as we are planning to end this webinar today, I want you guys to think about an innovation landscape and what are your interests? Who are you? Who are the trendsetters in what you want to do? What offering are they offering today that you think they won't be available tomorrow? Or what do you think you can get into so that you can make a difference tomorrow? Value additions that the industry is providing, and how are you different from that? If you're planning to get into entrepreneurship, how can you segment that industry if it's dormant and come up with something new so that you can be able to tap a market that can be able to make you a good or successful entrepreneur? So look at yourself as either an innovator, a migrator, or a settler. Are you an innovator that wants to innovate for today and doesn't think of tomorrow? Think about that and just position your product to be tomorrow-based, because something can be a trend today, but not a trend tomorrow. Who knew we're going to be using sanitizers today? Who knew we were going to have face masks? So someone who was in that industry a while back never saw the importance of that. Maybe it was supplying to hospitals only, but look at how the world has been disrupted. So that is something that can happen today and change the tomorrow aspect. Are you a migrator? Look at yourself. Am I targeting to migrate into something that is already want to have a value add to what is being done to make it better, so that join it and be able to use it for a long time, to offer something that is already there, but or maybe like do a well marketing strategy so that I can become a common offering, yes, but I have a client advantage, a first mover's advantage ahead of all the clients or the people that are in the same space with you. So think of yourself as an entrepreneur, look at this innovation landscape and try to assess even before developing a product. And even if you have a product now, start looking at the value adds and start looking at ways that you can market your business using the internet, of course, so that you can be able to grow the business. I'll stop sharing and share another final presentation. Okay, can you guys see my screen? Yes, I guess.
Yes, we can.
Yeah,
Yes.
so basically, we want to look at this framework to be able to look at what we've covered in the entire session, even as we're getting to the QA for the panelists and everyone that has attended. It's to say we always have a dream of acquiring knowledge, comprehending knowledge, and applying knowledge. But at some point, we really want to get to the top of the staircase. So this is called the Bloom Taxonomy Learning Framework, where we are able to learn something new and make something out of it to get to be on the top of the staircase, which is the judge space. Is to say we have come into this webinar with expectations, and I'm pretty sure most of those expectations were met. You came here not knowing some aspects, but Nuru and Daktari and even Boniface in his absentia talked to us about some certain aspects that we have acquired knowledge on. So I want to challenge you guys to comprehend that knowledge and apply it. You're going to see a lot of webinars in LinkedIn. You're going to see a lot of posters across mental health, but all in all, you are going to attend all those if you don't comprehend and apply that knowledge, because you will acquire that knowledge. One thing I say about the internet is you can get anything from the internet. You can get as much information from the internet, but how you are able to apply that knowledge is something that you can be able to grow with. So make it a habit to acquire knowledge, comprehend, and apply. And also now to get to the green space, you always have to analyze the information that you are applying. And so that at some point, even in the application process, we find ourselves not doing well. We are still under delivering. I've read the book, I've understood the book, I've tried to apply the book, but I'm still failing. So you analyze and say, okay, why am I failing? And then start working backwards to even look at yourself and now look at the best option you can be able to work with, because you've done it a number of times. So you're analyzing all the options and synthesize now the best options that you're having and say, oh, I'm going to be putting this together based on all the time that I've tried. When I use this approach, I succeed. When I use this approach, I don't. So you synthesize and put all those elements together, and then now you make a decision by being a good judger. So it's to say this framework is really important because things right now are really crazy. Like I was looking at businesses, and I'm a business enthusiast, by the way. I look at how people are funded. I mean, like you can get depressed literally looking at how people are doing well, because you can see a 16-year-old making millions and you wonder, is it that I'm not living my life to the best, or is it because what's making me different from that 16-year-old? For football fans, you can look at Kylian Mbappe. Kylian Mbappe is relatively young, making a lot of money playing for PSG. And you ask yourself, I am now 27 years, Mbappe is 21 years, he's making so much money, but you know, there's something called the balance. We cannot all get there at once, but we can try to make our life better so that we can be able to get to that point. I don't have so much to say because I had an internet issue. I apologize, and I really want us to go just straight to the Q&A, and maybe if I can hand it back to you, Nashipai. But it's to say I thank all the panelists, I thank all the attendees for being here, because it really means something to be together in this space, and we look forward to having you guys. And also, as we're having this conversation, we're going to be sharing an NPS with you, feedback form, just to get your experience on this event. What did you think of this event? What should we do better? And what you think we should be doing on the future events. So basically, it's something that is going to be shared on the chat. So keep looking at your chat box. I'll also be sharing something with you guys when we're doing the vote of thanks, just a minute or two to tell you about what TeamSet is working on, a retrospection of what we've done in the past and what we're intending to do in the future. So Nashipai, I hand it back to you.
Thank you so much, Wilson, for that presentation. We really appreciate it. Today is World Internet Day. Like we said, our theme is Internet today and tomorrow. They say the reason why today is called present is because it's a gift, right? And I had someone recently say, if you were to go back now, knowing what you know now in this generation, in this century, you were to go back to the 1915s there, you know, where there was no internet, where you had to send a mail, you know, where you had to have fire signals and all that, it'll be literally like a national crisis, right? Because our whole life is now entangled with the internet, right? I liked how Dr. put it, right? It's the convenience of it. It's, you know, you don't have to really leave your house. If you have so much work to do, you can actually just order food and it'll come to where you are. You don't have to, you know, figure out ways to support your parents from back home. It's just by the tap of a button and they're sorted, right? The same with initially how people used to have to travel to different countries to just have meetings, right? Like today, we have very many people from all over the country, all over the world possibly, right? Would have had to travel to figure out accommodations for us to just meet and have such a gathering, right? But now we're here, we're actually hearing each other. You can see me, I can see some of you. And see, that's the convenience of it. And that's what internet has brought us. And that's what we celebrate today. What the internet is offering us today and what it will offer in even days to come. Yeah. So at this juncture, this is where we're going to be asking questions to our panelists. If you have any questions to our panelists, you can ask, but I think I'll start off, right? This is directed to Daktari. So Daktari, what do you think is the impact that now the internet has had to entrepreneurship, and what is the highlight for you, like in your entrepreneurship journey? What has been the highlight of the internet to your entrepreneurship journey? Dr. Lucy?
Okay, thank you. I think basically I had already said that for me, I wouldn't figure out how entrepreneurship would be done without the internet. And the greatest impact that it has had in my business is on the aspect of communication, bills payment, and also marketing, because I am able to market my business on social media, for example. Any activity that we are engaged in the business, we are able to snapshot it and basically just share with so many people in our Facebook page. And we get, people saying, we get feedback from our clients, and we also get feedback from our potential clients. And this helps us to reach so many people that we otherwise would not reach. Now, the other thing that I said, being the kind of a person I am very busy. I am a career person. I am a lecturer, and many responsibilities and many things. A researcher, the demands on me are too many. So I wouldn't really manage to do the entrepreneurship without the internet, because there are so many suppliers that require to be paid. There are many orders that require to be made. There are issues that I need to discuss with the head on the ground, the person in charge on the ground. So I will hold the Zoom meetings, and I will tell him, look, this is what I want done. I will, tell them this is what they will share with me, what they require, the supplies. I will talk with the suppliers. I will pay the bills and all that. So I would say that basically for me as an entrepreneur, life has become a lot easier in all spheres, whether it is purchasing, it is marketing, it is banking, and whatever, because I realized that Safaricom was also taking a lot of my money, paying via M-Pesa. And so I am basically just using M-Pesa link, to pay my bills. And it is free of charge. And at the end of it, when I take my pen and paper and do the calculation, I see that I've saved something. So things are working quite well for me with even the mobile banking. I don't know whether I've answered your question fully, but basically that is it. Yes.
You've answered it so well, right?
Thank you.
But to tie it to my next question, right? Life is not like just full of smooth sailing. It's like the ocean. There are days when it's calm, and then there are days when it's very rough, right? So can you give us an example, or just draw from your experience of a time when, technology wasn't just good for you for your entrepreneurship run? That point in your entrepreneurship journey where the technology didn't come through.
Nashipai, I have been conned. Yes, not I directly, but my people on the ground, that somebody got into the business and said, look, I have transferred this amount of money into your account, and this is what I want. And I want this and this and this done. And so my person on the ground, called me and said, we have a client here. This is what he has done, and he has transferred money. And I was like, is there any evidence? He said, yes, there is evidence. Then I told her, okay, call the bank and find out whether there is anything like that. And the bank said, yes, we can see there is some deposit here, but we are still processing it. And I was, okay, fine. Then we can just go ahead and, give the service to this person. And yeah, so we went ahead and finished. And the moment we did, that person canceled before the bank did what? Before the bank took the check through, he canceled it, yeah, from his bank. And so we had already rendered the services, and it was not easy. Actually, we did not manage to recover the money because went to the bank and said, you people, we called you and you told us that, there's this check and this and this, and yeah, there's some money that you're expecting, and it hadn't gone through. So the guy was so smart, he just canceled it. And so we lost. So we lost, and that wasn't really good news for us. And that is happening to a number of businesses. We are getting conned day by day. Some people have become very smart. It is not once or twice that I have also had people, other people say that they have been conned in one way or another. And so as much as we are saying the internet is good, some bright con people are also using it. Yeah, fraudsters, to be able to get money from the entrepreneurs.
Lovely. Yeah. I'm actually really glad that you brought that up, right? Because conmen and fraudsters is something that is actually really upcoming with the internet age, right? In the sense of, say, for example, at this point we are in the year, so many people are going out there to get the coronavirus vaccines, right? You'll find that people who are advertising, they're saying they're doctors in Aga Khan and Nairobi Hospital, but in real sense, you send them money and their phones go off, right? Mm-hmm. So that's the thing about technology. It has its pros, it has its cons, especially for, say, for example, just a moment, my laptop is about to die. Okay. Sorry. So as I was saying, especially for people who do not know how to handle the internet, they can be subject to this a whole lot. Yeah, and this ties to my next question to you, Nuru. In the sense where someone gets to be subject to these fraudsters and conmen, right? That ties to mental health, right? In a sense that we haven't tackled. So just give us some thoughts on that, kindly.
Okay, so if I got the question wrong, you are asking if the conning and all these mishaps that happen on the internet have an effect on our mental health, yeah?
I'm asking, we've already established they have an effect on mental health. I mean, if you lose some couple of thousands, as Dr. Lucian said, for anyone, it will be a source of stress, right? So I'm just asking, on your perspective as a psychologist, how to handle this and how to actually anticipate, because you said all these emotions are part of life, because life comes with all of this, right? The happiness, the sadness, the fails and wins, right? It's just how you react after the fact, right? Yeah.
Yes. Okay. That's a hard one because loss in any way is a process for everyone. So it can be losing your money, it can be losing cows, it can be losing a family member, but it has the same process. You'll go through some steps, yeah? And as we said, it's how you react to it that it's important. So you've lost money. Let me just give you a story. I was also conned, but it was my phone was stolen in a matatu. Now, there are so many ways I could have reacted to that. I could have cried because my phone is gone. Everything is on my phone. I could have, gone to report to the police and all that. But I stayed calm because I knew, as much as I loved my phone and it was still new, there's nothing I could have done about it at that point in time. Yeah. So once you realize that there are things in life that you can't change, you start working on things that you can. Yeah. So once I realized that I cannot change the fact that my phone has just been stolen, I decided, let me be calm. Let me go into another matatu, go home, and try delete all my information from my phone so that I don't get hacked and my information doesn't get, spread outside. And then after that, I decided to go report. And then because I can't change the fact that my phone has gone or my cows have gone or that amount of money has gone, now what can I do, moving forward to help me get back that money through business or to get back my phone? Yeah. So it took me a while, of course, to get that money to buy the phone, but eventually I did. And in that sense, I kind of solved my situation. Now I'm imagining if I would have reacted in a different way, and let's say I decided, because it was a very funny. It was very funny. I was dropped in the middle of the highway. So I'm imagining if I started running to after this matatu and then I got hit by a car, you see. But because I calmed myself down and then I realized that I can't really change this situation. So what can I do that will help me, that will help alleviate the stress of this situation? Yeah. So just maybe to add on that, there are so many ways that people can cope with this. If you've been conned online or bullied, or if you've lost something, money, cows, goats, whatever, you can sit down, calm yourself first, think through it. Yeah. Don't act on your emotions. Don't act on your thoughts, but think through it. Think, what can I do now? Now it has been stolen. Yes, we have that covered, but what can I do now?
From a common mwananchi's perspective, I think that is easier said than done. You get, because in the situation where that happens for you, your first, let me talk about myself. Let me talk about my perspective. I think my first reaction would be to react, right? Try and make calls to get the phone tracked and all that. But I think that's why we're here. We have to learn to do these things. We have to learn to cope with these situations, right? And I'm actually glad because you brought up what I intended on talking about in the next point, right? That is bullying in the internet. That is something that's very rampant and is actually being affecting the kind of people are in our day and age, because it is affecting businesses, it's affecting, individuals, and even relations, may it be friendships, may it be, an actual relationship and all that, right? So I just want to know, what is your view on that? The view on, bullying on the internet, right? For example, in the back day when there was no Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or all that, nobody would just come and give you unsolicited opinions on your life to your face, because very many people who are bullying on the internet, they're just keyboard warriors, right? They just know how to talk on the keyboard, face to face. They really can't, bring this up and all that, right? So just give us, shine some light on bullying on the internet and what you as a psychologist can say about it in terms of our mental health, how to, take it when it comes, because it comes, right? Especially if, for example, like you're a digital creator, right? Especially if, you put out content to the universe. So just talk about that kindly.
All right. So let me start by saying that I've seen some changes that have been done on some of these apps. I know Instagram right now allows you to remove comments, if I'm not wrong. Like you can just remove the comment section. I think you can also remove the likes. I'm not so sure, but I know I've had something of the sort. So I think that is one of the ways that the internet or people in IT and all that have gone about it to try and reduce this kind of bullying. But at the same time, it still won't stop, because someone can still DM you. If they have hate for you, they can still just contact you and, throw the shade there. But it's something we need to realize that we can't run away from, because these are people that I don't want to say have hatred, but I feel like these are people that are reflecting themselves through the comments they give. You get? So if they tell you you're ugly, psychologically, I would say that they're not trying to tell you they're ugly, they're trying to tell themselves they're ugly. So that is how the person feels about themselves, because I can't just go around telling people they're ugly if I feel good about myself, you see. Yeah, if I'm content with myself, if I feel, relieved in who I am, then there's no way I'm going to be spreading hate out there. But if you don't feel content with yourself and you see other people are doing better than you, then you feel the urge to kind of release what's in your heart. And what's in your heart is that negativity. So when a client comes telling me people hate me online and all that, then I ask them, do you think they really hate you? Or do you think they hate themselves? Because why are they doing these negative things? Yeah. And then you kind of realize that it's less about you and it's more about them. Yeah. And once you realize that, you stop putting the blame on yourself. And you actually start blaming the person who is going through that stuff. So you're blaming the bully. Yeah. You don't put it on yourself. Don't put the weight on yourself. You put the weight on the bully. Yeah. Yeah, I think that is one of the ways you can cope with it, by just realizing that other people's words don't have to influence or affect you. How you feel about yourself should be the core of your being. Yeah. But
Really
it's also also easier said than done. Easier said than done, because some of the things that are said online, especially body shaming and all that, are not good. But we have a long way to go in eradicating that. And I don't know what you guys in the IT, industry are doing about it. And if we can work together to see how we can, try and better the situation. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for that. They say when someone is highlighting something bad in you, like something that they don't like, they're projecting their insecurities to you. So you have the choice to make you personally, you have the choice to take their opinion or not, right? Because it's their opinion, that's it, right? Also, they say charity begins at home. It has to start with you. You have to be actually very conscious of what you put out there, what you comment about people, right? You never know what someone is going through. So it has to start with us, whether it be face-to-face or on the internet, it does not matter, right? Thank you very much, Nuju. Thank you very much, Dr. Lucy. At this point, I'd like to invite the people present. If you have any questions to the panelists, to Wilson, to DataDigital, just kindly, you can just unmute, you can type whatever you're comfortable with. We will accommodate you. So yeah, so this is the question and answer period. If you have any questions that you want to ask, feel free. Anyone? Any questions? As you're thinking of questions, feel free to go to the chat section. There's a feedback form that Wilson has posted. Remember to fill it. It will help us in organizing better events in the future and actually getting to hear your feedback as people who are in attendance, right? So any question from any of the people in attendance, it can be to me, it can be to Nuru or Dr. Lucy or Wilson or to the digital. Just feel free to unmute, or if you're not comfortable with that, feel free to type it in the chat box. I'm not seeing any questions. Is my mic open?
Yeah, we are hearing you.
Oh, okay. Then I think we are very comprehensive because guys don't have any questions to ask, right?
Well, it could be that, or it could be they didn't understand anything.
I was just about to say the same. It may be that they got nothing. Or it may be that, yeah.
We said today we are going to be very positive. That's why I'm being very positive.
Right.
I'm choosing to believe it's because we were very comprehensive and we understood and we asked all the right questions.
Okay.
We hope so. We really do.
Yeah. Since it can also be feedback, doesn't have to be question, right?
Yeah.
I have a feedback, I have an observant, and like something that I've observed that I'd like to raise. it's so interesting that this event has been organized by DataDigital. So it focuses on, empowering the woman in terms of tech. And as you can see on the screen, the whole thing has been facilitated by mostly women. So that's not something usual. So I'm very, very, very glad that the lineup was female, and we are uplifting our female counterparts. Yeah. Team set 2. Oh, okay. So there's a question here, and I think it's directed for you, Nuru. So how would you advise against internet addiction and how to keep it under check? Because we all know addiction is a disease and all that.
Yeah. I think I mentioned a few pointers on when I was talking about how to build a healthy internet presence or life. Let me just go back there 1 minute. Okay. So as I said, internet addiction is just like any other addiction. Yeah. So you need to find, as I said, it's the release of dopamine in your mind, the feel-good hormone. So if internet is making you feel good, then you need to find something that will replace it, that would produce the same amount of dopamine. Yeah. I don't know what example to use. I want to use, for example, cigarettes. When people are stopping cigarettes, they're normally given patches. Yeah, the lift patches, or they're given, there's an electronic cigarette. So this kind of replaces that dopamine, and it helps them slowly get away from smoking. Yeah, so the same way as internet addiction. If you're trying to get away from it, then you need to reduce your online time. With reducing your online time comes finding ways to engage yourself, because if you're seated at home and you have nothing to do and you're saying you're reducing your online time, then you'll just automatically get bored and go back on the internet. So you need to find things to do that will release the same amount of dopamine. Yeah. This could be journaling. Journaling is really good for dopamine. It could be yoga. It could be exercise. It could be a walk through nature. It could be spending time with friends. Yeah. So that's one. You reduce your online time. Secondly, you change your focus. Your why. Why are you using the internet? Are you using it passively, just scrolling for no good reason, or are you actively using it to engage with your family or your clients? Yeah, so you need to have a purpose on why you're going on to social media. It's not like unaamka asubuhi. I'm sorry if I hope everyone understands Swahili here. Yeah, so it's not like you wake up in the morning and the first thing in your mind is you pick up your phone and you're on TikTok scrolling. Yeah, take a breath when you wake up. Take a breath. Yeah, be grateful, have gratitude. You woke up, you have life. Breathe some air, go outside, see the sun, wash your face, brush your teeth, drink your tea, and then take your phone, because it wasn't necessary for you to take it in the morning. Yeah, so change your focus on how you view social media. It's not just a place you go when you're bored. Yeah. And then number 3 is spend more time in real life with offline friends than on the internet. Yeah, so try as much to get out of your comfort zone, to get out of the house, I know it can be really hard. I struggled with this as well. Especially going out when all your work is online and all my classes are online. It becomes very hard to get out of the house, but it's very important to reconnect with life. And then number 4 is expressing gratitude, as I said. You need to take time to be mindful, to think intrinsically, what do I feel? What do I want? Because most of the time, as I said, social media can be used as a scapegoat. So you're feeling depressed, you're feeling sad, so you decide to go on social media. But if you take time to meditate and to be mindful of how you're feeling, then you end up solving these emotions and you end up using less of social media as a scapegoat. Yeah, I think those are some of the few pointers that I can give. But again, it's a journey, and please don't expect that you will just leave it, especially if it's something you've been doing as a habit. slowly, don't put so much pressure on yourself, because when you do that, then that means you. So if you put less pressure on yourself, take it step by step, slowly try reduce it, then you kind of form that habit. I don't know if I've answered the question.
Yes, you have.
Sorry.
I believe so.
Okay.
I also have this thing where you know, when you want to stop something where you have to force issues, right? So in the sense
Yeah.
of, let's say, for example, in my case, there's internet at where I work, right? So I'd stop paying for the internet at my house, so that when I come back home, I'm present, instead of coming back home and I'm on Instagram and I have something I need to do in the house, right? So you can also do that. You can force issues by just understanding in what sense, because at work, I won't be on Instagram, I won't be on TikTok, I won't be on all that, right? I'll have that avenue when I'm back at home. But if I don't have the avenue to do that, I'll feel the pinch of buying bundles, to go through Instagram, because Instagram is very expensive. But you have the Wi-Fi, you have the excuse, I can bill it too, and then I'll go cook or whatever, right? So at this juncture, I'll really like to say thank you to the panelists for the great interactive session that we've had, for answering my questions, our questions collectively. It's been such an honor to have you, Nuru and Daktari. And it's lovely to see great people in the society present, right? And it's lovely to appreciate the small things, like you said, Nuru, gratitude, right? So today we're appreciating internet, since it's World Internet Day, right? And very grateful for Team Set for organizing this whole thing. And I think at this juncture is where I'll let Team Set Africa do the vote of thanks before we close off. I'm really, really glad that you're right on time. Yeah. Thank you, Mercy. And for all those people who are in the comment section, we really appreciate that. So Wilson, I think this is on to you now.
Yeah, yes, thank you, Nashipa, and thank you, Nuru, thank you, Daktari, and it's to say, I don't know whether everyone from my team is here, but I'll give something to say. Before the books, I have to thank a couple of individuals that we've worked with tirelessly to make this event a success. Waswa is being one of them from the data side. He's done a really good job. We've been working across the week to get traction for this event. So thank you so much, Waswa. Hillary, we've been working with you. You're busy doing other stuff and trying to keep balance with your life, but you're also really involved in helping this process become a success. Thank you so much, Grace, Brian. I cannot thank you enough. I cannot thank you enough. I really emphasize for Nuru and Daktari. Man, this is a really good event. We're looking forward to many more events to even help us to grow the business and grow the brand. Team Set Africa is active across all active social media pages. You can find us on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, on LinkedIn. You can find us there at Team Set Africa. So you guys, I hope you enjoyed the session, and I want you to do a small exercise just to highlight any member of the attendee team to just say something and how you felt about the event, how you came in and how you're leaving. And even as that person is going to talk or even send a chat, we can even keep filling out the feedback form. So anyone? How about I spotlight someone randomly? I don't know if it's going to work though. Okay, so let me spotlight who, Rachel. Rachel, can you be able to chat us on the chat box or unmute and say how your experience has been so far?
Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you so much for the session. It's been great, and I've personally learned a lot. from those who presented. Thank you so much.
Okay, yeah, so thank you so much also for your feedback. So now I'm going to take you through something that we are working on.
Okay, as we wait for Wilson, I think I'll just close up on Dada's part. I'd like to thank everyone, first of all, in attendance. Thank you for sparing time to come and get some insight on what the internet offers. I also want to thank TeamSet, Wilson and your team. You had, I think, expanded more on what we do. Joining this space was a challenge for us since we are a bit specialized, but it's even encouraged our women, so that's a plus. I'll also want to thank my team. I worked with who's our projects manager and the rest of the event. We look forward to more webinars, physical events now have been reduced, and we also invite any volunteer, any well-wish, same vision to better put out the voice of the girl child. Also, I'd like to thank Nashipai, our moderator. She's done a very good job in just making sure the running of the event is A1. So asante sana, and I hope to see you in the future. You can follow all our platforms at DataDigital News across Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and we also have a YouTube channel where we post a few videos that we produce. Asanteni sana.
Okay. So taking it back over from you, I saw it's also to say, Nashipai, I haven't gotten a chance to thank you for what you've done. You've done a really good job, and I'm really happy to even have met with you in the first place. So I want to tell you, I'll take you through something in 1 minute about a product that we are working on. The product is primarily built to help entrepreneurs access capital and business owners who have high potential businesses to help their business grow. It's a product that we want to link up investors with talent, and we want to make sure that every idea you guys are having or any business that is doing well or has the potential to do well is getting traction for itself. And in terms of even finances, we want to explore that narrative to be able to understand a way to help you grow. So we're building a platform to make that possible. So I'm going to be sharing another link with you guys so that anyone that is interested to join the platform can be able to join the platform and have an early access to the platform, interact with the platform to understand what we do, but primarily think of it as that connection between an investor and an entrepreneur. So you're coming into the platform to be able to help your business grow because you lack capital, because you lack some other aspects that you need to make your business grow. The link is currently in the chat session. You can just take time and fill it. You'll be notified when we go live. And I really look forward to many opportunities, and I wish you guys the best because it's not easy navigating across the business world, the tech world, and the youth space, and even the mental space itself. So for me, it's to say thank you everyone for being here, and I'll let Kenneth do the final vote of thanks as he also says something about himself because he's our ICT lead, and we want to take this moment to also appreciate the good work he's been doing. So Kenneth, as you are concluding the meeting, just try to keep it a bit short. Thank you.
Okay, I hope I'm loud enough. Willie, am I loud enough?
Actually, you're over loud. You're really, really loud. It's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. I hope you guys can see me. Yeah. Okay. My name is Kenneth Joseph. I'm the technical ICT lead at Team South Africa. And here we are today, and I'm very happy that this happened. It's the second step that we are taking after our previous webinar, and I'm so happy that we're making a step towards making change and bringing positivity in the eras coming forward. So I'd give I don't know whether they talked about Moringa, but I'll give an insight about the school that I'm an alumni of. It's a best place to be. They offer great LMS, like a student is subjected to study themselves. You don't have to face a lecturer or anything. It's you and your laptop and the content that you're provided with. So it's an amazing place to be. So Team South Africa, like you guys have been told, it's an amazing company, and all we're here to do is to ensure that our youths grow with us digitally, and everything that we're going to do from here and forward, we just want to ensure that everybody who is coming up in this era with their good intentions, we want to push you forward and maintain positivity. So you're welcome to Team South Africa. You can always reach out, volunteer, and make the best of it. So I don't have much to say. I would have talked further, but time is running out. So I appreciate the team. I wasn't much of available during the building of this session, but I'm happy that these guys worked so hard to bring this thing to come true, and I'm proud of all of them. So as we end this, thanks to the to Dada and every other person that got involved, and I'm very happy for you guys. So for those people that attended, I hope you learned a lot from it, and I hope you guys will attend the ones that we'll be holding from here, maybe tomorrow or some other time. We'll make these sessions better and better as we carry forward. So thank you guys, and I hope you had the best and you learned. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Kenneth. Okay, guys, so have a lovely rest of the day, and don't forget to fill back the forms. It's going to help us a lot. So you may now leave at your own pleasure, but thank you so much, guys.
Before you guys leave, I have something more to say. I don't know. Can you guys hear me? Can somebody confirm from the group if I'm okay? Okay, so the girl child in IT sector, it's really an open space for the girls to score much and make a lot out of it. Companies out there are so much they're up to cup full with men coming in and working in the IT sections where the ladies are left behind. So if you're a lady that has a mind and wants to pursue something in information technology or in the field of IT, please don't hesitate to make the best of it, because it is 100% guarantee that positivity is going to come your way. Jobs are out here waiting for you. Just work hard. Go to Dada. They're here to available to support any person who wants this, and you can make the best out of it. This came to me later, but I hope somebody is encouraged.